Sir, I hope you guys are doing well. This is a general reading for you. The messages may or may not resonate, and maybe let's consider this a timeless reading. This is being done in June, but whenever you find it, you find it. Yeah, with that being said, feel free to like the video and let's get started. Show me energy for the sign of Cancer, please. Cancer. The change in the wind. Oh, let me shut these windows. It gets really loud. I live near a school, and I live near a school, and it's almost time to let the little gremlins out. So, let me go ahead. Where's that deck? All right. Show me more for Cancer, please. Okay. So you have self-acceptance. It's coming out in reverse, Cancer. Purpose. I know what I'm here to do. And can we get one from here for Cancer? Pleasure. And the denied oracle. Okay, so you have affection coming out in reverse, and you also had two cards come out with it. So we have hot and cold. Someone is inconsistent with their actions, as well as control issues. Let the universe take the wheel. Okay. So let's get into this energy, Cancer. I will be pulling regular tarot cards in a minute. I just want to get this going for you. A change in the wind is oftentimes going to show up when situations in your life, they need to be restructured, restabilized. Things may need to be readdressed in certain ways, or maybe it's just like a complete change in your life where you're uprooting yourself. This can also be that. Sometimes when we do that, it's for the intention to have a better life, have a more integrated life with the things that are important and valuable to us. Self-acceptance here, I mean, in general, that plays a huge role in so many of our lives, and that dictates oftentimes what we allow ourselves to experience, allow ourselves to, you know, venture into certain relationships with certain types of people. I think in the, yeah, it was the Pisces reading, but it was the, what was it? The channeled messages reading for Pisces, where there was no cards. I'm pretty sure there was a point in that reading where the messages were like them going and initiating conversations or initiating flirtation with people who they would typically think was out of their league. And it was because they needed to stretch themselves. They needed to trust themselves. They needed to explore what that felt like. Because the people that we perceive as out of our league are completely just people entirely, you know. Any hype we give them is the hype we give them. It's not necessary. It doesn't mean that it's accurate for who they are. And sometimes they're total assholes, and sometimes they can be really lovely. So, you know, denying ourselves the opportunity to connect with somebody because we think that they're out of our league is kind of silly. And it, you know, it pushes us to accept ourselves. And so, like, yeah, and especially too, like if you're dealing with situations where even if it's not a person that we're out of our league, maybe it's a situation in our life where we are needing to realize that perhaps where we're at, I'm getting the type of treatment that is negative towards me. I'm getting treatment that is demeaning me, and it's created this cycle in my life where I've experienced that so many times that I'm starting to believe it, or I can't get out of it. And here with purpose, it's asking for us to know that you being on this planet, just as you are, you have every right to be here. You have just as much purpose as the next person does. And it's really a shame that we don't see that. And so this is kind of a pep talk here, I feel, that I want to give you, where the reality is you are here, you matter, and you're just as valuable and viable as anybody else. What you do with it is entirely your own. And so it's an act of accepting ourselves and making sure that we don't fall into those painful patterns again, especially when we have situations where like pleasure and affection are either taken away from us, or we don't feel that we deserve pleasure or affection. We continually get into connections with people who are constantly hot or cold, or like breadcrumbing us, or people's actions are inconsistent in whatever they may be, physical, mental, emotional, however it is, communication. And sometimes I've noticed that like we put ourselves in situations that do not bear fruit and don't offer much movement because we're not used to that. And sometimes we figure out that, or we think that we deserve what's kind of minimal. And this is asking for us to change that energy. It's asking for you to be grateful for the experiences that you've had here, Cancer, up to this point. But really look at them and say, does this help me? Is this pushing me away from what I truly want? Is this pushing me away from, am I allowing myself to push myself away from what I genuinely want, what I genuinely deserve? What is it that I deserve? Some of you need to just even look at that, because it almost feels the way I'm feeling about it. It's like almost like this Sisyphean feat, like this big, undertaking of what do I even want? What do I even deserve? You deserve the world. You're part of the world. Even your little fragments and atoms are the world. You're literally, everything is each other. So you have no difference in that. You're just a unique experience happening, and the way that you choose to experience that is your own. So accept where you're at and allow yourself to move forward here. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get some cards here for you guys. It's time to have fun. It's time to have freedom, fun, to go through new doors, to experience different emotional ties, connections. It's time to climb different ladders, especially in work or any type of positions where you're like, oh, I couldn't do that. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. It's about challenging yourself. So you have the Hermit coming out in reverse here, and I'm going to do it like this. I am. Okay, thank you. So the Hermit, Virgo energy, but with the change in the wind, the Hermit is almost as if you've sat with this idea of okay, I need to change. I need to change my life. I need to change my location. I need to change my group of friends. I need to have a overhaul here. And the Hermit in reverse indicates that there may have been a situation in your past, or in this situation where it's you were immobile in that direction. You didn't move. You were very stagnant in that direction because you didn't know how to feel about it. With it also in reverse, it can indicate that you finally, see a path out. You see an opportunity perhaps in the distance. You see an opportunity within yourself and you claim it. This is that self-awareness energy where it's realizing that the things that I am connected to at this point, some of them may need to go. And some of you are having great lives, and that's great. But somewhere in your life, there's something that you wish you could change. There's something that needs to be changed, restructurized. And so for you guys, it's being aware of that and making the effort to change it. You have the Eight of Cups coming out with self-acceptance. Some of you may have dealt with, self-abuse. Some of you may have been products of abuse in your life. The Eight of Cups, especially here, there's like shots of booze and whatnot. When we don't, I know this for myself too. I didn't accept myself for a really, really long time. And I'll be honest with you, sometimes I still don't accept myself. It's really uncomfortable in certain situations. Okay, I'm going to share that then. So I did not have a good upbringing, and I was sexually abused by too many people, like passed around the neighborhood basically. And it really messed with my self-acceptance, how I thought I was valued, what I meant, all of it. And so for years, and even up until this day, I still have like disconnect moments where like, I don't want to venture into something if it's sexual, or like, and that is helped through a steady and slow and patient partner. But like for the most part, I keep myself very, very away from people in that regard. I love being around people, but like I don't actively date. I don't, and there's so many reasons for it, but that's just one of them, and so maybe me sharing that with some of you might help some of you, and I'm okay to be vulnerable for that. That's fine. We have these experiences so that we can help others, so that we can help ourselves grow from them. With the Eight of Cups here, though, it's asking for you to move on from this lack of self-acceptance, move on from this lifetime of not caring for yourself, and allowing other people in your life to not care for you either. Giving them free rein, giving them an open door policy to hurt you, to abuse you. And maybe we're living out patterns of our past. Either way, it's important to be able to look at it for what it is and say, okay, enough is enough, because this has emotionally robbed me, and some of you, you've let it, and that's okay. Every point in growth is a stepping stone towards something completely different, but you have that body of knowledge when you move forward, You have Justice coming through here. This is Libran energy. It is about honesty, truth, being forthright, cutting through BS, cutting through deception. It's delivering honest messages and doing what is fair for you, with it being under purpose. I know what I'm here to do. This is very much about, like, some of you are probably experiencing scenarios in your life where it's like you have an opportunity to change your experience, to move forward in a completely different way. And it literally is just asking you to take the steps towards that, to not have it just as a process of thought or an idea, or like even a hope that you feel like, oh, I just can't allow it to happen, or it'll never happen. Make it happen. Step into that. It's okay for that to take shape, because it's for you. It's for you. You have it in your heart for a reason. Allow it to be. With the Justice card, even in that card, you see this person who's like blindfolded. The blindfold can be taken off. You can actually step into what you want to see. Sometimes I say this when I am actively manifesting, or when I want to put a little spice on something that I'm bringing into my life. I say, I am it, I see it, I be it. So mote it be. I am it, I see it, I be it, I am it. So mote it be. So it is. And I can tell you that oftentimes that brings things into my life in such a clearer, more more easily digestible way for me, just because it's like I wouldn't, actively try to hurt myself. I wouldn't actively try to do things that would be problematic for me. So I know that I have my best interest at heart. Maybe I didn't in the past, and definitely my experiences in my past with people have not been that way. People have not had my best interest at heart. They were strategic, and they were abusive, and they were using me. And I got to experience that, and I'm a better person for it. So here it's like unveiling the honesty of what you actually want to put your how am I seeing that? The way it's coming out is like put my hands, you're putting your hand, you're putting your life in the hands of you're putting your life in the hands of a new direction. But the thing is, you're the one that, they're your hands, it's your direction. It's like allowing it to happen, allowing it to happen. And when you do that, I feel like things just really open up very quickly, very, very quickly. Show me pleasure. So I do want to say the Seven of Cups flipped in or flipped open and then flipped back in. When they do that, I let them go back in. The Seven of Cups, and in this particular deck, the Seven of Cups is all like, they're all booze cups. They're all different fruity drinks, you know, bar drinks and alcoholic beverages. So some of you may be like, maybe that's how you're seeking your pleasure, or like maybe that's how you're seeking your numbing agent here when it comes to trying to not feel. So some of you drink a lot, or maybe do other things with that. Here you have the Knight of Swords in reverse with pleasure. That's an interesting energy to have, just because the Knight of Swords is an energy that is generally like not great. They jump to conclusions. They can lie to themselves. They can kind of like create situations in their head, and they believe them, and then they'll like call you out on it, and you're like, wait a minute, I didn't do anything like that. It's a harsher energy. It's a harsher energy for sure. And some of you, this may just be like you've been deriving your pleasure online. Some of you, this may just be like you don't have the people in your life to go out and do things with. You don't have like a safety net of people that you can trust. And so it's like you go online, but like there's very little, how do I want to say that? There's very little like true pleasure that can grow from there. Just because you can't touch anybody, you can't be present, you can't see them, you can't laugh with them. Yeah, you can laugh, but it's by yourself. And there's a safety to that, but there's also needing to expand from that. And even as I say that, here at the bottom of the deck, here you have the universe. This is the world. This is about expansion, growth, change. It's time to actively like allow yourself to have the freedom to have fun. Make time for the fun that you want to express and experience here. This is about, again, going through different doors that are new to you. Some of you, this is activating your... it's like activating opportunities in your life where you can grow, but like some of that's through even work. It's like doing the passion projects, doing the things that make you feel like you are, it's the purpose energy is what it is. And it's asking you to step into that. Don't lie to yourself. Don't say that I don't deserve it or whatever. We can find 10,000 reasons to not do something, you know? And we can also find 10,000 reasons to do something, but it is a problem when we don't allow ourselves that, right? Don't be the self-swindler. Beware the self-swindler. They don't allow things in their life because of fear, because they need to control. Here, you have this card, control issues. Let the universe take the wheel. This is the universe. It wants to take the wheel. The energy here, though, Cancer, is one of being available to change, being available to the mystery and allowing it to happen, letting the floodgates open. I feel here that you're going to be challenged in that situation or that area in your life, and it's asking for you to be available to what can be through your own creation. And sometimes that creation is literally just allowing ourselves to step away from how we've been doing things. Show me affection. Why is it in reverse? Okay, so you have the 5. That came out very quickly. The Five of Wands is a card of conflict, and that can often be inner conflict, conflict with others. Sometimes people have to prove themselves to, and that's kind of where the energy is coming from. It's like I have to prove myself to gain affection. I can't just be. I have to prove myself for love, and that's a very damaging place to be in, because it's saying, you know, we need to accept ourselves. We need to align with people who will give us that love and freely acceptance. And I want to say too, love doesn't just have to be romantic. Sometimes love can be, the acceptance of friends, the affection of friends, feeling it for yourself. And that can almost feel like problematic, because it's like, well, I still can't get it from anybody, but I get it from myself. Yeah, give it to yourself. When you give it to yourself in a very frequent pattern, is what I'm feeling. When you give it to yourself frequently, you start to feel it, and you change your energy. You change the vibration around it. It's no longer like, oh, well, nobody's giving it to me but me. Yes, I give it to myself. Why? Because I'm fucking worth it. I'm a delight. I am a wonderful human being who has the ability to see the directions I want and go in them. And I'm a wonderful human being who deserves to have light in their life and no longer be stuck to these patterns of pain, self-isolation, self-deprecation. I'm allowed to grow. I'm allowed to see a future for myself. Give yourself that love, Seek that love even in the smallest of ways, from like a pet. Pets give us affection. I'm so grateful. I live, for historically, I'm a very I'm a loner. I'm the lone witch, I'm very much by myself. And I love having pets. And when I didn't have animals in my life for about a year and a half, I was like, oh my God, I think I'm going to go crazy. And I did go crazy. And when I got Toulouse and Teak in my life, so much changed for the positive, just because now I have these two little babies that are adorable and they're sweet, and I can pour my love into them. And by them being my babies, they're an extension of me. And they're an extension of my love. So how I treat them is how I treat myself, right? Maybe that's even just a simple way to say it. Like, some of us treat our animals better than we do ourselves. So let's treat ourselves how we do our animals. I know that sounds so silly, but maybe that's like a starting point where we can actually be accepting of ourselves enough to realize, oh, I matter. I matter. I matter. Oh my goodness, let me scoop my litter box. I matter, Show me hot and cold. Yep. The Ace of Swords coming out here. Cancer, hot and cold. The Ace of Swords, it's having clarity about a situation, having that inner wisdom, that knowledge that I don't need this. I've needed it up to now, but I don't need it anymore. And thank you for giving me this clarity, because now it's like I realize that I don't need it. I'm gonna cut out people that are hot and cold, especially also when they withhold affection, or where they let you feel like you don't deserve affection. Again, it's a product of what we allow, but it's also important for us to be present enough to say, I don't deserve it. Get this shit out. Let it go. Okay. And I feel here, if you have somebody in your life like this, it's asking for you to be available to let it go. And for some of you, I will hit on this here. Let me pull this next card, but I'll hit on it here in a relationship energy type of scenario. There you go again. So you have the universe. This is about allowing. It's about literally let the universe take the wheel, let the world take the wheel. For some of you in connections and love relationships and stuff like that, some of you, it's been really hard. It's even if you have partners that show you love and affection, sometimes we have a hard time even accepting it. And for some of you, you don't have people showing you love and affection. Some of you, it's combative energy, or like having to prove yourself to achieve love and to receive love. And with all of that, it's asking for you to release it here. Some of you could be dealing with a Libran person, somebody, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, some Virgo. But here it's a cutting of the ties. It's a parting of the ways. It's an acceptance that, okay, I need to change this. Sometimes we have to be available to be alone, and that's terrifying for a lot of us, but sometimes we have to do it. And sometimes we have to allow ourselves to sit with it, and be by ourselves. A lot of people hold on to relationships that are problematic because I'd rather be with somebody than be alone. Well, why? Like, you're holding this energy, even if they don't treat you well, like you're holding that energy hostage because you're afraid of the unknown. Open yourself up. Take off the blindfold. Life brings justice when we allow justice to happen, right? Like the world, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, the universe loves to fill a void. Okay, so when one thing goes, another thing comes. The age-old saying, one door closes, another door opens. It's the exact same thing. When you release something from your life that is no longer helping you or no longer healthy for you, whether that be a person or a pattern, situation, whatever it is, you allow that to be healed. You allow the integration of realizing I do deserve more. And then the universe says, okay, you deserve more. You deserve better. Let me do that for you. Let me do you a solid and give you something much better here. Because you do deserve it. It changes in the wind. So this is what I have for you guys. I hope that this reading is helpful for you. Feel free to like, share, subscribe. And yeah, thanks for those who have donated. Thanks for those who have ordered readings. Right? I love you guys. Take care, Cancer.